ferromagnetic, paramagnetic, and diamagnetic. So if I talk about the state of these magnetic materials, then ferromagnetics are solid, paramagnetic and diamagnetics can be solid, liquid as well as gas. One second. Okay. Now, if you place some magnet near this ferromagnetic material, then you will see that these are strongly attracted by a magnet. Paramagnetic are weakly attracted by a magnetic, and diamagnet, they are weakly repelled by a magnet. And now, if you put it in a non-uniform field, then you will see that these ferromagnetic material, they tend to move from low to high field region. Same paramagnetic also do the same thing. They also tend to move from low to high field region, and in case of diamagnetic, they'll tend to move from high to low region. So now if you place them in external magnetic field, and after some time if you remove that external magnetic field, then the property of ferromagnetic materials is that they preserve the magnetic property even after the removal of external magnetic field. But if I talk about these paramagnetic and diamagnetic material, then if the external field is removed, then they do not preserve the magnetic property. Next is your permeability. So permeability is very high in case of ferromagnetic, and it's little greater than unity in paramagnetic, and it is less than unity in diamagnet. If I talk about susceptibility, then it's very high and positive in case of ferromagnet, and it's little greater than unity and positive in case of paramagnet. And in diamagnet, we have already discussed that this is negative. Susceptibility of diamagnetic material is negative. So example of ferromagnetic are iron, nickel, cobalt, and for paramagnetic it is lithium, tantalum, and magnesium. The example of diamagnetic is copper, silver, and gold. So next is your dielectric material. So dielectric material are defined as as those insulating material which when placed in electric field they get polarized. So these are your dielectric material, and due to this property they are used in capacitors, radios, radio frequency transmission lines, and they can be used to store energy. The example of such material are mica, ceramic, plastics, and glass. So now the next term is your ferroelasticity. That is very new to you. Okay, what is this ferroelasticity? These ferroelasticity are the materials that exhibit a spontaneous strain on application of stress. So that means when you apply stress on such objects, they'll produce a strain. So these materials are known as ferroelastic materials, and this phenomena is known as ferroelastic. So what happens is when you apply a stress on these material, then a phase change occurs. And due to this phase change, the crystal structure or the orientation, they can change. So if crystal structure or orientation will change, then we can say that a strain is produced. So this ferroelasticity is the phenomena in which if you apply a stress, then a phase change occurs. Due to this phase change, the crystal structure or the orientation, they can change, and we can say that a strain is produced. So this can be used in the shape memory effect, and superelasticity can be obtained in ferroelastic material, and nitinol, that is nickel titanium, is an example of this ferroelastic material. The next is ferromagnetism. So ferromagnetism are those material which when placed in external magnetic field they get magnetized. तो जो material magnetize हो जाते हैं जब हम लोग उनको external magnetic field में रखते हैं उन materials को हम लोग बोलते हैं magnetic materials. So only a few materials are ferromagnetic. For example, iron, cobalt, nickel, lodestone. So if I talk about iron, then iron will become magnetized in direction of any applied magnetic field. This magnetization will produce a magnetic pole in the iron opposite to that pole which is nearest to it. So the iron will be attracted to either pole of the magnet. So if you place some magnet near this iron, then you will see that here the iron will have opposite pole than that of this magnet so that they can attract. Okay, so if I talk about bulk material, so in bulk material, the domains are aligned in random direction, but when they are kept in external magnetic field, then they all align in the same direction. So this is about ferromagnetism. There is one more term, that is ferroelectric. So here it is written ferroelectric. So ferroelectric are those material that get polarized when they are placed in external electric field. तुम्हारे सिलेबस में जो टर्म है दैट इज मल्टीफेरोइक. मल्टीफेरोइक, मल्टी मींस मोर देन वन. सो जो भी हमारे मटेरियल्स हैं जो एक से ज्यादा प्राइमरी फेरोइक प्रॉपर्टी को शो करते हैं उनको हम लोग बोलते हैं मल्टीफेरोइक. सो मल्टीफेरोइक्स आर एलिमेंट्स कैपेबल ऑफ कंबाइनिंग more than one ferroic property and they exhibit both ferroelectric and ferromagnetic property. तो कोई भी मटेरियल जिसमें या तो ये दो की प्रॉपर्टी हम लोग कंबाइन करें या ये दो मटेरियल कंबाइन करें या ये तीनों कंबाइन करें तो ऐसी मटेरियल्स को विल कॉल इट एज मल्टीफेरोइक्स. So multiferroic. So these are the materials with the characteristics of both ferromagnet and ferroelectric. In the meaning of material with two ferroic order, it is called multiferroic. In multiferroic materials, control of electric polarization by magnetic field and control of magnetization by electric field becomes possible and we call it as magnetoelectric effect. So multi means more than one and ferroic means material like ferromagnetic, ferroelectric and ferroelastic. So what is this ferromagnetism? A magnetization that is switchable by an applied magnetic field. Ferroelectricity, an electric polarization that can be varied by an applied electric field, and ferroelasticity is a deformation that is varied by an applied stress. So these three, combination of these three, and combination of any these two is known as this multiferroic. So in your syllabus, first term is your multiferroic, then you will see you are having types of multiferroic, type 1 and type 2. So in case of type 1 multiferroic, the ferroelectricity and ferromagnetization occur at different temperature. So these both, this ferroelectricity and magnetization, they both occur at different temperature and they both arise from different mechanism. If I talk about type 2 multiferroic, then in this case, ordering temperature for two phenomena are identical. Now the next difference is the structural distortion which gives rise to ferroelectricity occurs at high temperature and the magnetic ordering which is usually anti-ferromagnetic sets in lower temperature. Now if I talk about type 2 multiferroic then in case of type 2 the magnetic ordering breaks the inversion symmetry and directly causes the ferroelectricity. So type 2 example of type 2 multiferroic is TbMn2O5 and in case of type 1 multiferroic we have BeFO3. The various application of multiferroics is electric field control of magnetism, radio and high frequency devices, cosmology and particle physics, spintronic devices that include spin based transistor and information storage devices such as magnetic tapes. So what is the advantage of multiferroic storage over conventional storage? See, if I talk about conventional storage, like we use capacitor, in that we use charge, right? Movement of electrons. Okay? So movement of electrons were used to store this energy. Whereas if I talk about multiferroic storage, here we use spin-based electronics. Also, in case of conventional storage, leakage of electrons is possible, which enables energy loss. So we have energy loss in case of conventional storage, but as we use spin waves here in case of multiferroic, therefore the energy leakage energy can be reduced, which could help making computer processor 1000 times efficient and faster. So this is the advantages of multiferroic storage over conventional data storage. Now, what are the limitations of multiferroics? So most of the known multiferroic elements retains their property only at low temperature. So they can only work at low temperature. So due to this limitation, we cannot use these multiferroic in devices that works at room temperature because their operational temperature is very low. The next term is magnetoresistive material. See, from the word also you can guess what is this magnetoresistive material. So it has to do something with the magnet and with the resistance. So what are magnetoresistive material? These are those material which when placed in magnetic field, then they'll change their resistance. So magnetoresistance is the tendency of a material to preferably ferromagnetic to change the value of its electrical resistance in an externally applied magnetic field. So if you place such substances in external magnetic field, then what will happen? They'll change their resistance. So the magnetoresistive material, they can be classified into two categories. The first one is giant magnetoresistance, GMR, and second one is colossal magnetoresistance, that is CMR. So this giant magnetoresistance, this is a quantum mechanical magnetoresistance effect in which how we form this giant magnetoresistance, we place an alternative layer of ferromagnet and non-magnetic conductive material. So these layers are placed, okay, this is composed of multi-layer of alternating ferromagnetic and non-magnetic conductive layers. And when it is placed in external magnetic field, then its electrical resistance changes, and that change will depend upon the magnetization of adjacent ferromagnetic layer are parallel or anti-parallel. So if there is parallel alignment of magnetization of ferromagnetic layer and the non-magnetic conductive layer, then the resistance will be low, and if there is anti-parallel alignment, then the resistance will be very high. The magnetization can be controlled by applying an external magnetic field, and this effect is based on dependence of electron scattering on spin orientation. So these GMR, that is giant magnetoresistance, they can be used in magnetic field sensors and biosensors. The next one is your colossal magnetoresistance. So colossal means very large. So these are the materials which changes their resistance when they are placed in external magnetic field by a very large amount. So generally, if I talk about normal materials like giant magnetoresistance, in that case, only 55, only 5% resistance can change. But in case of colossal magnetoresistance, the resistance can vary in large amount. So colossal magnetoresistance is a property due to which electrical resistance of the material changes by large amount and presence of magnetic field. These are used in disk read and write heads and leads to increase the hard disk drive data density. The last term that is given in your syllabus is your spintronics. So this spintronics is made from two words. First one is spin and second one is electronics. So we use this spintronics. In the spintronics, we use electron spin to carry information instead of its charge. So electron is negative charge and it has spin. So therefore it can act as a tiny magnet. And this tiny magnet has north pole and south pole. So when this tiny magnet or electron comes in contact with another magnet, then opposite poles attract each other and like poles will repel each other. So direct direction of spin. So this direction of spin can be used to indicate 0 or 1 to store the information. So the application of spintronics is in the field of mass storage devices. We can store massive amount of data in a small area. Electron spin can be identified as a magnetic field having one of two direction, up or down. So due to which we have two extra binary digits, binary states, and the states will be up high, up low, down high, and down low. And these four states represents quantum bits or qubits in quantum computing. So this is about the rest of your topic, that is multiferroics, type 1 and type 2 multiferroics and spintronics. So let's revise it once again. So if I talk about multiferroic, so multiferroic means the material which shows more than one of the primary ferroic property. Okay, so which property? This ferromagnetic, ferroelectric, or ferroelastic. Ferromagnetism, it is the process in which a magnetization is produced in a material when it is placed in external magnetic field. Ferroelectricity is the property of a material in which they get polarized when they are placed in external electric field. Next is ferroelasticity. It is a deformation that is produced when a stress is applied on a material. So these are your multiferroics. So we are having two types of multiferroic. Type 1, in which this ferroelectricity and ferromagnetization, they both occur at different temperature. And in case of type 2 multiferroic, the ordering temperature for the two phenomena are identical. The ordering temperature is same for ferroelectricity and ferromagnetization. Second is the structural distortion, which gives rise to ferroelectricity, occurs at high temperature, and the magnetic ordering, which is usually antiferromagnetic, sets at lower temperature. But if I talk about type 2 multiferroic, then the magnetic ordering breaks the inversion symmetry and directly causes the ferroelectricity. Okay, the next is your advantages. We use spin here, spin of electron to store the information, and because of this, the chances of leakage of energy is very less. Limitation is these multiferroic elements, they work only at low temperature. Then magnetoresistive materials, these are those material that changes their resistance when they are placed in external magnetic field. So we can divide these magnetoresistive material into two categories. First one is giant magnetoresistance and second one is colossal magnetic resistance. So in case of giant magnetic resistance, we have layers of ferromagnetic and non-magnetic conductive layers, and the change in electrical resistance depends on whether the magnetization of adjacent ferromagnetic layers are in parallel or anti-parallel alignment. So if they are parallel, then the resistance will be low, and if they are anti-parallel, then the resistance will be very high. Next is your colossal magnetoresistance. In case of colossal magnetoresistance, the electrical resistance of the material changes by large amount when they are placed in external magnetic field. So this is about colossal magnetoresistance. Next is your spintronics. In case of spintronics, we use electron spin to store the information. Okay, any doubts? If you have any doubts, now you can ask.
मैम फेरोइलास्टिसिटी मतलब चेंज इन द फॉर्म ना स्ट्रेस से।
Yes, 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 yes. Change in the
मैम
form.
तो वैसे तो हर मटेरियल फेरोइलास्टिक होगा ना।
नहीं, हर नहीं होगा। हमने स्टार्टिंग में जो फेरो मटेरियल्स हैं, फेरो मैग्नेटिज्म वो पढ़े हम लोगों ने, उनकी कुछ प्रॉपर्टी है आपने देखा, which makes it different from paramagnetic, diamagnetic and other materials. जो फर्स्ट हम लोग,
ओके मैम।
ठीक है। यस, एनी अदर डाउट्स? ओके, तो जिन बच्चों ने लेट ज्वाइन किया है बच्चे, आपके में 3 यूनिट आ रही है, इंटरफेरेंस इन थिन फिल्म्स, सेकंड वन इज योर क्रिस्टलोग्राफी एंड थर्ड वन इज योर इंजीनियरिंग मटेरियल्स। इसकी भी जो पीपीटी है वो सॉरी इसके भी जो नोट्स है वो मैं क्लासरूम पे ऑलरेडी शेयर कर चुकी हूँ। सो आप अभी से पढ़ना शुरू कर दो। आप लोग का वाइवा होगा, वो भी मैं आप लोग को बता नहीं, आई गेस आप लोग को अभी पता नहीं है, आपका बच्चों सब लोग का वाइवा होगा। ठीक है, जितने भी सब्जेक्ट टीचर हैं वो आप लोग का वाइवा लेंगे एक साथ। 10-10 के बैचेस में आप लोग को ऑनलाइन ही आपका वाइवा होगा। आप लोग को बोला जाएगा नाउ यू कैन ज्वाइन, एंड देन ईच एंड एवरी टीचर विल आस्क यू सम क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम योर सिलेबस। सो दे कैन ऑल्सो आस्क यू टू शो योर नोट्स। जो तुम लोगों ने नोट्स बनाए हैं अपनी नोटबुक में, तो वो लोग नोट्स के लिए भी कह सकते हैं कि तुम लोग नोट्स दिखाओ हमें, तुम क्या बना रहे हो। कोई भी टीचर किसी भी सब्जेक्ट के लिए। सो अपनी नोटबुक भी कंप्लीट रखनी है और अपना पढ़ाई भी करना है, क्योंकि एग्जाम में तुम लोग के पता चल रहा है अच्छे मार्क्स आ रहे हैं और यहाँ पे तुम लोग कुछ बता नहीं पा रहे हो। दैट मीन्स दैट इज प्योर चीटिंग। सो दैट शुड नॉट बी द केस। ओके।
मैम एक्सटर्नल ये अटेंड नहीं करना